Beach.
Yo, what's up? So this GaKnew Roxwell.
Yeah.
Here with my man Mark 7.
Yes.
RTN. We both
Yes,
RTN, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, I know you from other crews too, so
Yes, LTS, Last to Survive, and we Soul Kings, and then at the same time, currently I'm under the UTI banner too, so you know I'm pushing with that as well. So,
Water shit.
Young Lords, peace out to soon too. You know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we could dive into it a little bit.
Yeah,
So this is Beyond the Cans.
Beyond
Just so y'all know, you know, we all get into paint, but we get into more than just paint. So that's what this is. Yeah, man. So dive into the beginning. Like like what area did you grow up in?
Mid City, bro. Mid City, Midtown, Los Angeles, and that's the impactful place that kind of got it started. Yeah.
So what was the graph scene like when you was growing up? You know what I mean? In Mid City.
Yeah, in Mid City. Let's see. Initially coming up, early on, it was gang riding, right? And I'm talking about elementary school,
Right.
You know, right? Obviously, right. So I say, by the time it was getting beyond that, you know, any type of cool cliques and crews, that might have been like skateboarders and taggers and when I say taggers that were skateboarders, this could have been, just cool culture. Cool culture was tagging. If it wasn't gangsters, it was cool culture, whether it was rock music, whatever. You seen cool stuff on the wall. So that's the landscape of graffiti. And then, skateboarding, right? And then and then as we started to see the New York style graffiti become a thing, like 82, 84, then we started seeing either the people that was trying to do it or the ones that might have been from there that brought a little bit of it. But the main significant one that we started really seeing was Soon and Legit. And that's what kind of like really kind of boosted us up to like, we need to do it like that.
Right.
Because he was like a pioneer on that. Yeah.
So one thing just popped up to me when you were saying that was, because I was growing up I was a little bit behind you, but like you said, when we was kids, I was seeing mostly graffiti as gang writing.
Right.
South Central,
Yeah.
Compton. So it was all graffiti was gang writing.
Yes.
But then we got to a point where you just said the graffiti scene was like cool kids, like skateboarders, kind of like with gang banging, and that scene was separate. For a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then we got into tag banging, right? Like by the time it was the early 90s, then it was tag crews, was like miniature gangs or like JV gangs.
Yeah.
And then you had real gangs that started tripping off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so can you speak to that whole dynamic?
Okay. That's beautiful. I like that. Okay. So as again, the junior varsity of the game, right? Everybody that's expressing themselves, but they anywhere from, like I say, you had dirt bike folks, you had skateboard folks. We were beach cruising. So I'm giving you precursor before we really started being on graffiti crews, or the break dancing kind of evolved, right?
So what years was that?
So for me, the best way I can say it is like maybe seventh through ninth grade, right? Because I was tagging and trying to be with cool guys before that, but the context of either trying like to like before breakdancing came in, it was funk and gangsterism, like Flashlight, all that. So the only opposite of that was trendy music, which would have been the new wave, and then the mods is why I got into mods and ska. And mods and ska music, you would have people who would wear the hats and shades, right, trench coats, and then the patches on the back with the different colors, like the black and white, like squares, right? And then they had the little characters going sideways, doing their dance. And so that was something we would draw. And then as, the more of us drew it, we would even try to put it on benches at the parks and maybe walls. And then what happened with that particular scene, right? That particular scene evolved to where mods and skas were like turning into trendy gangs, right? And so some of the some of the people from that made it got into graffiti, but some of them were just into the culture of mod and ska music, like riding bikes. Rude Boys, it was Rude Boys and mods, right? Rude Boys were more like Prince, and mods were more like the new era look at music, like ska music, like I don't want to downplay because they were way more harder. Madness, like the band's Madness, and all these different groups that were at the time, and the way that the mod scene were, it was like the tapered look, the tapered khakis, the tapered pants, and the stingy brim hats, and like it was a clean look. But they'd jump off a scooter and fight like squad.
Right,
That's how it turned into posers, KODs, mobsters, all these different trendy type, right?
Right.
And then some of the skateboards, like big up to the homie Mozart was telling me about the Skate or Dies. They were cats that was into skating, but they little cliques turned into like smasher crews that was on skateboard, but like will whoop your ass, get off it,
Right.
bang you out, like so, like that gangsterism. LA, there was always evolutions to that. So
Well, yeah, because you was growing up in a, not to cut you off, but
Yeah.
but like growing up in a neighborhood, it don't matter what you was on, you still had to be willing to get in.
Yeah.
Just off some surviving in the hood type.
that
shit.
part, and so with that even being said, respectfully, I say this part. I'm just noticing a trend. I can't speak on other people's hoods, but what I can say is I also noticed a pattern of whether it was the football teams, like on the northeast side, whether it was Burlington's and the Diamond Streets or the Temples or maybe Rockwood, might have been football teams on one low, but on a whole nother, they was a faction.
Yeah.
And then on our end, let's say, we're talking about the Gramercy Streets. I listened to a good interview. I knew some Gramercy Streets personally, Berg and the homie Old Man and Kissy, but like they was out of Fairfax, right? They was out of the West End, but they was coming also out of the top of Mid City, and they used to play football, but they was a hustler clique. So everything turned into who was some of the the DOMs, the dirty old men, everything, and those were generations after the jerks, right? So it's a trip out here. So that's just to talk about how everything elevates into that. But the writing stays in there some kind of way. Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? So like it's kind of interesting because like it's all subcultures, and I think that
perfect.
we often look at it like we'll say hip hop culture. You know what I mean? And we say graph is a part of hip hop culture, but even as you was just speaking on, we had so many different little micro cultures within the culture, and even I know from New York it was like punk. Graph was part of punk also, which and punk and hip hop was kind of in the same scenes at times, but it's. I can speak from an LA perspective. The kids that I knew that was into punk really wasn't off hip hop. Like I was, we was in two different lanes. When we was in junior high school, the punk kids was over there. The hip hop kids was over there. You know what I mean? Like,
well, perfect. You just said that. Like the different genres of music, other than having Melrose in common, right?
Right.
Or any main area where you Venice Beach or anywhere where you go, and you could Hollywood Boulevard, and there's a punk shop there, there's a tattoo shop there, there's a hip hop shop there. Other than being close because of their various what you call them,
the hip hop shop and the punk shop ain't the same shop.
They're not the same, but they're various genres. Right. So with that being said, art was the one common thread through all of them, through the comic book shop, through the shop, through the that shop, through the hot rods, the slicks. What do you call them? The dudes that were like greaser type energy, like that vibe. Like, so there was always art though somewhere in it, and it just depends on how you connect it. Because perfect example, one of the dope dudes that hit Venice a lot, known for doing the big murals, old school murals of trying to remember his name. He painted like where the parking spot is off Venice. You come down to Venice, make a right in the parking spot right before you hit the beach. Damn, I can't remember my boy's name. But he's known. He's gonna give you that classic California roadster,
Right,
old
right,
school
right,
look.
right.
So and maybe he was more into whatever 50s music. Who knows what his vibe was? But that's the thing is, damn, I knew the dude's name. It just ain't coming to mind.
So to give context,
yeah,
and when you was in 7th, 8th grade, like what years was that?
7th and 8th grade. Okay.
Just so the people have
yeah,
context.
yeah. Well, I was born in '69. By '77, I'm so bad with this shit, and I got it written down somewhere. Excuse all the profanity, but yeah, I'm just comfortable being myself. So, but look,
I mean, that's
I'd
context.
say,
though.
look,
That give,
yeah, but
like,
I want to say 88. Okay, let me see. Walk it out. How old are you when you were in?
I was born
5th
in
grade?
'76. So
Fifth
you
I was
7 years older than me?
I didn't realize that. I thought it was 4 years.
That's
Yeah, I was born in
that's crazy.
'69, and then by 4 and 5, I'm on Adams at a Head Start on Jefferson and Hauser
Right,
at a
right,
Head
right,
Start, and then so first, second, kindergarten, first, second. So 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. So by 80, 81, I'm getting in the
Yeah,
elementary.
Okay.
Right, Arlington Heights. we fighting with the kid coming through to go to Mount Vernon, picking on him.
All
I was doing some stupid shit. But as far as what was cool then, it was jumping over benches. They used to have this, they used to do off the ground, trying to, like that, and flips were precursors to if you could pop, lock, or lock, right? And writing on the bathroom walls or the tables.
Right.
So that was then. We were seeing all the cool stuff.
So what pulled you in? What pulled you in to doing graph? You know what I mean? Because
I was gonna graph. You mean graffiti, New York style graffiti, or like what got me into writing?
Okay, so that's even better, right? Because we talking about the LA scene, and stuff that we was doing in LA wasn't because they was doing it in New York. Like we was doing stuff here, and it's just crazy how life works, right? Because like I can have a thought, an idea right now, and somewhere in Atlanta, somebody else is having a very similar idea. And whoever brings it out first, if I make it happen first, then I take credit for it. That started here, but somebody else way over there had that same idea. And so even how you speaking right now, you talking about when we say writing, and writing on the bathroom wall, that ain't because you heard about somebody in
doing
Philadelphia named Cornbread that's spray painted on the wall.
And respects the cornbread.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I met him too, but no, you're right. No, we were writing because we were competitive in kindergarten. We were writing because we were competitive. Like if you drew, you drew, right? So if you drew, it's just like if you were good with your hands and could make an origami or whatever, you did that, and only so many kids could do that, right? Right, more girls than guys, but a couple of them could do it. Like how did you do that? Like how you make your paper go? Like I could make an airplane, but I couldn't make a thing that talked and flip flop like that. Right. Okay. So then, if you could draw, I was drawing against the cats. Wendell, Carlos. It was a couple of us that could draw, and we would draw on the sidewalk with crayons or whatever you could get that could imprint on the ground. So that's how I came into writing, seeing people draw. My sister and my cousin drew. So I was competitive to not competitive. It became competitive, but I was like, I want to be like y'all. So that's drawing. As far as tagging or writing into stuff to leave your expression, the bathrooms, the walls, you see it, but I'm a part of the drawers. So the drawers, just what we do. And then that evolved. And then the different, I don't want to say the heinous ways that get you into the next levels, but you see the next level, and then you keep your eye on it. Like you see the gang writing, like I say, early letters,
old English letters.
Well, the old English or early, just even the people that didn't have the most hell of a writing, whether it said blood, BLOOD, and it had eyes on the O.
Yeah.
It made a face.
Yeah.
That
character.
That characterism. it's what you identified with. Just like you could identify with Mad Magazine. It had Mad, and then the character's face had the gap in his teeth, and they had all. Mad Magazine was one of the illest comics, because every page, like, even though they had programs and like Spy versus Spy, you know, they had different shows or whatever in that one comic. There was so many random things happening that was like character funky, and it wasn't like cartoons you watch. You know, that's wholesome. It wasn't wholesome. It just was like college level.
Was for me, that pull us in, right? Because as kids, you want to find some kind of way to rebel. It's rules everywhere you go. It's rules at home. It's rules at school. So what little thing can you find? It's like the garbage pail kids. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's like, it. Oh, the garbage pail. Yeah, they did. They. Yeah, exactly. Like you could have seen your you know, we were there, but little cousins or wherever. Oh, I'm collecting such and such, and the little girls are getting strawberry shortcake and Hello Kitty,
like,
and the little homies like, give me the garbage pail.
Nose.
Yeah, they like digging it in the nose, and they got all nicknames, and from that, the kid who got that, and those characters would have been like Sticky Finger Louie, whatever they are.
Dope names,
right?
Like
then
names.
you took that and took it to a next level on your skateboard, on your dirt bike, whatever it is. You took it and then you started like clicking with your homies around the way to be like other stuff. I'm not saying I don't think. Props to those who innovated that. Like, hey, we're gonna be the first ones to go be a clique and not even know what a clique is. You had to be inspired, even if it was from TV. Even if you seen, when we was kids, we seen Fonzie be cool. Something about him. He not like us. He wasn't like the squares. Richie and them. He come and flop on your couch, you know, and be like, like blah. You know, him and Carmine was like, bah, right? Or you might see a movie about the you know, even though a lot of our stuff might have been Hollywood projected at us, for those of us family members that our family did, we did see the stuff like Cooley High, right?
Oh yeah.
We did see those, but on a mainstream, if you were just watching regular TV, depending on if you had programming that allowed some of that stuff to come through, you know, the blaxploitation films.
Right.
If you didn't get that, you got it from white films. So you got it from anything that showed you cliquish. And once you seen cliquish things, you identified that, even if it was simple as, I watch Bad News Bears, the movie, and I want my guys to be the Bad News Bears, and my little team is going to be a clique of dudes, and I'm the one writing our name up.
Right.
It just comes back,
What's crazy for me is I feel like it happened for me unintentionally. And I'm just saying, like, elementary school, I don't know, even before, like, just in the neighborhood, you got your friends that you play with all the time. Like, you got your homies that you always with, or the kid that's from your class, and y'all play kickball and basketball together, and that's your dog. You know what I mean? And then he got a friend that's always come around. So now it's the 3-4 of y'all and them y'all dogs. But it's always other kids at the school that don't really play in your circle. They from over there. And I feel like that dynamic in itself just created a clique before I even knew it, because then it's like, that kid over there is a conflict with my homie. Like, well, you know what I mean?
No, that's true. That's the natural process. I agree. That's the natural process. But to some level, there's also always the influence.
You
know what I mean?
You can't
like,
get away from the
no,
influence,
you can't, because even if, we could get 10 of us. No matter what color we are, we seen our pops out there. And our pops could have been not in the way, or our big brothers not in the way, or they could have had a certain cliquish way they move. But then, if you never watched TV, cool. But if you watch TV, you were going to see it. Look, my little brother he's 10 years older than me, period. He's 10 years. And he went through Fairfax, and he ended up going through like the, what you call that? The continuation over there. When he was little, and I used to see him watch stuff, the Goonies and whatever, you know, and then the Goonies, and then what was the other one? Lost Boys.
Oh yeah,
Lost Boys was a clique. To me,
Warriors, the movie Warriors.
Well, that goes further. That goes back with us. Shout out to my man Max over in Arizona at Trill. They just did a thing for the Warriors out there.
Oh, right.
They had a little end shop for that. So big up to the people from the Warriors that's still around. But that was a major influence on
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Dang. So yeah, but oh, look, I said it years ago, and we seen it. You could be cliquish with Boy Scout,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Let's sell more of
anything.
this. Let's
Right.
do that with baseball, football. It's always there, but on the sub levels, it turned into a darker thing,
Yeah.
in the streets, on the walls.
So, what do you feel like Graph gave you that nothing else gave you?
Freedom. Freedom and therapy, bro.
Word. Okay. So in what way? Like what? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, let's
elaborate.
Go. Yeah, okay. Well, freedom because you weren't restricted. Let's just say you just had whatever the canvas was in the minute, piece of paper. Freedom because you wasn't like line paper has lines in it, so then you can direct where you're going in there, but it's more looser. It's a blank sheet, and you can grab whatever it is if you get to express yourself. You can make a mess with it, or you can strategically bounce. So now you're just expressing yourself. You can hone that into what do you want to create. So that's a freedom of space just to be able to do it, right? So that's what writing or anything that you could put your finger and create it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you could use any medium from there. So I said freedom, and then what else I say? Therapy.
Yeah. You said therapy.
Freedom comes through, freedom or therapy comes through freedom of expression, letting it out, venting, developing, working towards seeing something manifest and become something. Like the innate thing. Yeah, I don't know. I could get deep in it,
Go ahead.
but we're humans. Like procreation is something. Yeah, the process of making a baby is super bomb, right? So we can get lost in that, but it's ultimately to create and bring forth new life. Okay, so there goes creation, but you can create with your hands. You can go build something, right? You can put things together. You could have a lake, and you can create a way for people to get across that lake. So creation is unlimited, and when you can create, I feel that there's a power, and if you put your energy empowering, and if you put your energy towards it, it can be therapeutic too, because during that time that you're doing it, whether you're going through something, think about the people that could be locked up. The more time you put your time towards something productive and energetic, that is your freedom. Even though when COVID, we couldn't go nowhere, but what could you do? You could be in your house and make use of your creativity if you could,
So, all right, I have the thought.
Yeah, good.
When you say therapy, it seems to me like it's multiple kind of therapies, right? Or what we perceive as therapeutic is really escapism. Because when I think of therapy, like, say if somebody is supposed to go to therapy, they're supposed to be going to therapy to work through whatever the thing is. So you put an energy towards working through whatever it is. But then oftentimes when we think of art being therapeutic or basketball being therapeutic, we're looking at that, really, it's a space where I could get my mind off of whatever that thing is. Yeah, I guess it was a random thing.
No, but that's true, and so therefore graffiti is an escapism. We could be dealing with things at home. We could be dealing with things at home. Okay, watch this. My pops, for the matter of keeping me in check, I can say that's a good pops. But at the same time, simple stuff where I wanted to hang out with partners of mine, he just didn't want me to get caught up in any trouble. So if he was gone, his back thought was trying to keep me like not getting into nothing while he was gone. So there was a bit level of restrictiveness, but if he was gone, where he wasn't focused on it, I could have a little more freedom. But when he died, because my pops died early, like when I was like 16, I started really, really getting out there. And then I realized later when I look back, when dealing with pain, you dealing with
Yeah.
like you black out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
really black out.
Yeah.
Like I'll look and I'll be missing. Like damn, what happened between this
Yeah.
time and this
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
Right. So that's how trauma works. So
Yeah.
I was able to hit the streets more with that energy.
Yeah.
Right. I was out there. That was when I was earning my name because I was getting out and like I was doing just like New York. We used to see mom pieces. I did mom pieces and then I did Pop's pieces or Red his name. Those were my dedicated names to be like. And if I was gonna get caught, at least I was doing a dedication that I felt that they would respect it. You feel?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's deep, right? Because in that sense, back to the therapy, the therapeutic thing, I think like we could consider it escapism, but like you said with trauma, if you're going through something traumatic, like say if you got shot or stabbed or something, you need something to get your mind off
that
the pain until you can get the wound tended to, get the wound time to like heal, or you know what I mean? Like you need something in that moment to some medication. You need something to numb the pain so you could get some time to pass
and
by.
take the focus off of it, which perfect goes with those who were artistically creative when they had them broken arms was doing work on them casts.
Oh,
like soon as you said it, I was like, ooh, I can picture that, right?
Yeah.
So that's an ill thought.
Yeah, I definitely used art as a kid to kind of like tune out. You know what I mean? Like
totally.
Tune out from all of what's going on.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into the story. Missions. So, tell me about a mission you had planned out but went south.
Ooh, south.
Or
no.
Or a mishap happened. It ain't gotta be like
no. I know, but I mean, either way it goes, I'm just like, cause initially I thought of missions back. Okay. Well,
stuff you don't want to tell.
No. Damn. You know what? I'm happy you just brought that up. But nah, whoa. Okay, I'll just give a simple one. I just remember going up and down La Brea.
Dang, I think we just lost that camera too.
Oh yeah. Okay, so generally, I just give you one. Like I was going up and down La Brea, and I was right about San Vicente area where now there's a Target, but it used to just be like an empty lot with walls up and like you could kind of like go up the hill a little bit and gain some access to another tier of the ground or the hill right there. And I was getting it in, throw ups and whatnot. And somebody pulled up and started honking the horn like just someone random, probably going around the 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, going up the way. She might have lived in the area, but she just gets some air to start honking the horn, and like, I'm not gonna leave till you stop.
Oh wow, all right.
And I just was like, damn it, and just was like getting it. And it's funny because I guess, when you, at that point, when you stealthy, you become one with the streets so much. Wherever you are at one with the streets. You know what I mean? Your ears, your eyes, everything. And so you feel like you could just move that way. And at that point I was, but that was one of the things that just kind of like, dang, you blew up the spot. Come on now, let me finish what I'm doing here. This is the perfect space for what I'm doing on the main. So that was one.
So what moved you on? You know what I mean? Because like, I mean, clearly you're not out bombing, right? You know what I mean? So at what point did things change?
Children and too much on the line. Props out. Like to me, it don't make sense. To me, look, I understand the spirit of stuff. I understand all that. I respect all that. But at some point, like I guess if it gives you more value, if it gives you more value to risk everything on the line, so be it. Then let you get that value if that's what builds you. So a lot of us are here for different reasons, and so what gives us value is on to each his own, right? But I got a lot to lose.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah,
value
yeah,
what
yeah.
I have,
To be
and
clown.
so I'm not going to trade it for my freedom when I got responsibilities and things to get done. I'm gonna focus on that, and yeah. So rather it was like I took a couple of hits, like rather it was back in the day off of just driving and doing stupid stuff that got me tickets, and I kept getting tickets till I was like, why am I? I'm always in owing. I'm always in owing. This is a debt to society, and you could do what you call it. What do you call it when you go clean up?
Oh yeah, community service.
Like you could do community service, or you could pay whatever. But at the same time, at some point, it'd be like, okay, just stop doing stupid shit. And then, as far as with getting caught for everything that had to do with racking and doing writing illegally, like it just was like, damn, like it's gonna get more expensive, and it's gonna be more time. What you call it? And I have certain other
Time taken away.
aspirations that I don't wanna like. What's the you know what I mean? Like I could be my worst enemy. That's what it
Yeah,
came to me.
yeah.
To me, in the end, even watch this, because a developed. Okay, I might have even said I might have had, amongst other things, ADD and anything else, I might be compulsive. Since I was a kid, I might have looked at one toe, looked at another toe, and then move my nose, and then do this again and again. Now I got this damn habit, and I'm like, I'm trying to shake it, right? So once I started tagging, it became a compulsive thing, Ray
Yeah.
habit. And
I
when
feel
you
that.
compulsive like that,
Yeah.
it could come out at the times you don't even expect
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I was scratching in on coffee cans, soap. My mom was like, "Damn, why don't you stop?" And so when something becomes like that, good or bad, that could become considered nasty.
It becomes that, especially when it starts becoming your escape too, because
Uh-huh.
I start the more you going through,
Yeah.
the more you need
You
to
escape.
escape. You
Like
know what I mean?
addiction, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you just escaping moments, you escaping life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
that habit kick in, right? Yeah.
Right. And because of it, you could just that's maybe the beautiful decay of society, because we all going through something, and the society and some of the bad decisions or the way they pressing got a lot of people snapping and tripping, and maybe
Yeah.
that's what we starting to see.
Yeah.
Like it's the beautiful decay. It's a decay. Look at the ocean. That's a whole other thing with all the plastic. Bro, I'm right here at the beach, and I walk up on the ground, and shells and rocks and plastic and diapers and soda bottles and stuff that been under there for a minute on the shore.
Yeah.
And who know what just sprung that happened that made it happen there.
Right.
But immediately I thought about the one that's way out in the middle of the ocean somewhere. And that's what
the island of
right, an island, and that's what society has done. And so that's a beautiful decaying. Like now it looks like you got a lemon tree there, and it's a whole fruitful thing. Now you got a fruitful trash thing. That's a decay. So give it up to the artists that make creative, unique things. But then there's just some people that's looking to express themselves because they like everything against like everything, and that's what that might be.
So back to, I feel like it's a whole lot of webs
Yeah.
we weave, but to the point of, we talk about subcultures and microcultures, and even we talking about like using it to escape or whatever. But then you get into a space, right, where this thing, graph, whether it was with markers and just drawing characters, and then it got to cans, but then from graffiti being illegal and cans and drawing, then we get into cats evolving into doing murals and stuff, right? And then you get into it becoming part of pop culture, and then you get into their street artists that never was connected to that now they want to paint with cans because they see you creating dope pieces with spray paint, and they're like fine artists. That's like, ooh, it's just another medium that then they get into. Because you know, when we was growing, I could say, I used to get Krylons. Like Krylon was the can that I knew. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I stepped away for over a decade, and I came back.
Yeah.
You brought me back.
Okay.
And it was like, oh yeah, we got 94s and we got Montanas, and I'm like, what is all this? You know what I mean?
Candy.
Now you got spray paint that's made by the graph culture for the graph culture.
Yes.
When there was a time when spray paint just came from the hardware store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so now we got a space where you got graph heads that despise street art.
Yeah.
And low key, I've been hearing graph heads who despise muralists, although it's some graph heads who evolved into muralists, or even evolved into what you consider street art. So
there's that, and then if you really also look at it, for I don't know whether you call it a purist, whether you call it a militant, let's just say there's levels of that within what we loosely can call graffiti. Let's loosely call graffiti because you're into spray painting letters, characters, and by way of our generation, right? Between your and my generation, let's say from the 70s forward, because there's probably cats that was doing it before late 60s, early 70s. But let's just say 70 to now, and we say, you know, if you're using a spray paint can and you expressing yourself and you do, that's graffiti art. There's people that will check you real quick, because if you're not going by a structure that was set forth that has guidelines that this is what makes a graffiti artist. If you wasn't ever introduced to that, if you didn't watch the videos, if you didn't hang with a clique that gave you the rules, if you didn't do all that, you're not an official. So if that's the case, I almost take myself out of a lot of stuff. Maybe I'm not a rapper. Maybe I'm a rapper, not a MC, because the MC is this. Like, there's so many breakdowns that people will discredit or disclassify you. Not just the surface level stuff, because obviously a person, I just met the young brother the other day who was painting a mural here in Gardena. He did a woman's face. He's using aerosol. I come up and I asked him, he only been using spray cans for the last 4 or 5 years. So he is a mural artist.
He's a fine artist.
That got into
the medium of spray paint.
And if you ask me, who at one point considered myself a graffiti artist, which I have a page that says Mark 7 the graffiti artist, which was just to let you know who I was versus Mark 7 from Jurassic 5, because he's not known as the graffiti artist, but I'm the graffiti artist. But now, like, so with that, the person who
Dilated, right? Not Jurassic 5.
No, Dilated is Ira.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, him and Evidence. They got up and tagged and was at the hip hop shop and all that. But what I'm saying is, like, there's Mark, my bro, my other homie, who's from J5. And then Charlie actually did graffiti, Chicago, right? That's what Ern even mentioned in the thing. So, but just as far as me looking at someone that was more considered a fine artist and whatever, using aerosol, I mean, use what you want. You know what I mean? Like, you gonna be mad at me because I use a brush? But claiming graffiti, and I think a lot of people loosely claim graffiti as a term.
Yeah.
Right? Because they wasn't, look, so now's a big thing about, like, and I say big thing, not to a lot of people, they always knew it. I remember with Create, he'll correct or he'll break it down and say, we're into style writing.
Yeah.
Because he studied and he also knew, you know, as a case to in certain prominent New York style writers that defined what the process was of style writing on the trains, and if you followed that tradition, then you would identify it as such. So there's a consensus of folks that still identify by that, where some folks, that's totally a new term. They're like, style writing, everybody want to be style writing, and then there's the people who just bomb and right, and they're like, you know, I'm not into all that. Like, everyone kind of like, look, man, water seeks its own thing, right?
And that's the thing I was going to say, because earlier you said that freedom.
Yeah.
Like graph gave you freedom.
Yeah.
But then the graph world and the graph culture and different crews and all that brought rules.
Yeah.
Rules takes away freedom.
Good point.
So, you know what I mean?
Right, but
Like,
I guess if you're going to participate in those forums, you got to have some form of structure, because then you get the toyism, right?
but I'm
There's
saying, so, but the toy
yeah,
that don't care about your rules
right.
is the most free.
Oh yeah,
He just gotta, you know,
but that depends on if he's aspiring to fit in.
When you aspire to fit in, though, you going
conform
away from your freedom.
wait.
You know what I mean?
What you say? Never. The way you say, why must I constrict?
Chase the cat.
And the constriction, breaking loose from my constrictions. You can dance underwater and not get wet. Because I'm just all them punk songs. It's always talking about all that. Yeah, no, it's just certain words that they used to have in a lot of the punk songs. Break loose from my constrictions. So that's a constricted thing to be under these rules, right?
To even want to be part of something is low key like getting away from
it's compromising.
This thought of freedom. So do we really want freedom, or do we just want a space to be accepted? And then when we can be accepted in that space, then we willing to take on those restrictions.
I think that's very much like without overthinking it, I think that's pretty much everyone. However, the ones that are totally rebels for freedom, then there's where you get your spit. Like, I'm gonna ride on your shit even though it looks nice. Fuck you. I'm gonna ride. Spit. Right. You get that, and then you get what do they call it when you breed something together, a crossbreed, or what you call it?
Hybrids.
Hybrid.
Right.
Then you get the hybrid of people who want to do graffiti, but they're like non-rules, so they go over muralists, or they have no style, and they don't care if you say, oh no, you gotta have style. Nah, we're anti-style. So you get so many levels of everything. Everyone's existing, bro.
It seemed like to me, and I know people might get mad at me, pissed off, but I know how the graph space function. But it seemed like the more skills you have, the more you don't want to disrespect somebody else's stuff.
Okay.
The less skills you have, the more you like, I'm gonna write over anything.
Right.
And low key, it feel like a hater. You know what I mean? You're just a hater because you don't have no skills.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you masking not having skills under this cloak of, well, that's graffiti. There's no rule like that's graffiti. No, you just don't have skills, bro. Because you don't have skills, you want to go over everybody's everything. Right.
Well.
Because the graph dudes that I know that got skills, they're like, hey, bro, like they respect something else that's dope. It's like, man, you don't paint over no mural like that. Like, what you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From the same space, from the same graffiti bombing alleys and freeways and all of that. But they just, when your craft go up, you start respecting dope.
You know what's put in. You have I totally agree. And then when you first said it, one of the first things that sparked in my mind was a song